escape here in Ontario to the two recent high-profile jailbreaks in North America that have put a spotlight on prison security. Of course, the two we're talking about in New York State, David Sweat and Richard Matt, spent months planning their escape, allegedly using smuggled tools to tunnel their way to freedom. And then there's Mexican drug lord El Chapo. He escaped from a maximum security facility through a $5 million tunnel that was dug under his cell. A modified motorcycle was waiting underground to whisk him away. Now, as Christina Howron tells us, a London area inmate was able to make a far easier walk to freedom.
We've seen escapes in New York. We've seen in Mexico recently. So this isn't something new that offenders don't try to do.
Escaping from jail. You might think of tunnels or helicopters or well-plotted-out plans. But in Ontario, you could just walk out. The Ministry of Correctional Services says it's already happened 14 times this year.
They see our protocols, and if they see a routine, if they think they can take advantage of it, potentially they will, especially someone with more serious charges, which is a greater threat to the safety of the public.
That's what Justin Kunz did yesterday morning. The 19-year-old had been remanded in custody since his November arrest on gun and drug charges. He was scheduled to be in court on July 27th, but instead, he walked through those gates. Sources tell City News he looked a lot like his cellmate, who was scheduled to be released. So he allegedly shaved his head, threatened his cellmate, and when the correctional officer opened the cell, he pretended to be his cellmate. He was released around 9:30 yesterday morning. Correctional officers didn't know of the error until the man who was supposed to be released spoke out.
And the same thing could happen here at the state-of-the-art Toronto South Detention Centre or at any other institution across the province. That's because every jail uses the same screening methods before releasing an inmate.
They'll get asked the specific information, birthday and stuff, but they get more specific, asked who your probation officer is, when your last court date, items of that nature.
They then match the inmate against their admission photo, and it's signed off by two managers. It's not clear if that happened here. In a statement, a Ministry of Correctional Services spokesperson says the ministry is conducting an internal investigation to determine not only what caused the improper release, but also to determine if any actions are required to ensure it doesn't happen again. But Ross was clear. Biometrics and retina scanners won't be coming anytime soon. And criminal lawyer Ari Goldhind thinks that's a good thing.
You went to the public and said, do you want to spend millions of dollars on this versus all of the other things that our tax dollars could go through, to a problem that may be very specific, two men look alike, somebody threatens somebody, if that's really the story. It may be like bringing an Uzi to a fist fight.
Tracker bracelets were introduced at Toronto South, but were quickly shelved.
They wanted to do some pilot projects and bring it in, but apparently there was some issues either with the vendors or some compatibility issues with our computer programs.
Nevertheless, the ministry says it's committed to keeping those who belong behind bars behind them. In a statement, Brent Ross adds, the improper release of any inmate from a correctional facility is unacceptable, and the ministry takes its responsibilities in this area very seriously.
London police have issued a warrant for Kunz, who now faces 3 new charges of impersonation, uttering threats, and unlawfully at large. Outside of the University Courthouse, Christina Howron, City News.